This conference will now be recorded.
All right, I would like to call the Sylvania Township regular Board of Trustees meeting to order at 5:01.
We'll call the roll. Ms. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Genowine?
Here.
Mr. Mahoney is absent today.
All right.
Oh, Simcoe.
Simcoe here. Yeah. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of the minutes for the February 4th meeting. Do you have any changes or concerns? All right, I'll offer the minutes for February 4th.
And I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda, Oliver?
Nothing this afternoon.
Okay. And seeing that nobody from the public is here, I doubt that anybody signed in, although that might be changing.
Yes, it might.
Oh, yeah. So we can, road department?
Maybe. I have one item, resolution 25037. This is to approve the plan and advertise the bid in 2024 Sylvania Township OPWC Road Improvement Project Phase 2. We're keeping it the same name because of the project funding is through OPWC, and that's what the project is called through them. This is the Quarry Road portion of that project that did not get performed last year due to the utilities. This will also include some roads that were planned for this year, but just so happen to be in a very similar location of Kingsland area, if you're familiar with that. So we're going to incorporate those roads, but they'll be paid out of the 2025 projects, which is all the planned in there. Some of those roads are being constructed on this project, but being paid for when you submit the 2024 project or 2025.
Okay.
I'm requesting to approve the plan and advertise for bids so we can start that project hopefully by spring.
And in the meantime, you're gonna send crews out. I know this weather wreaks havoc on our roads, but the potholes and things are getting pretty bad.
Yeah, we're gonna continue monitoring that as soon as we can get out there.
Yep.
Back in.
Yep.
Keep going.
All right, I'd like to offer resolutions 25037, approve and plan and advertise for the bid of 2024 Sylvania Township OPWC Road Improvement Project Phase 2.
I will second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Presentation tonight for the monthly reports for October, November, December 2024, and January 2025.
Is there anything that you want to bring to light or want to focus on or make the community aware, since we've got Sharon here, and take advantage of our...
Just staffing, we're currently pulling a list to do some recruit hiring, fill some vacancies, and then the positions that were from the line. So we will get those folks on board as soon as possible here. You know, again, the overlapping incidents are still occurring. You know, even though we're going to hire some more staff. Hopefully that'll help with that number. I don't see it drastically because we can't predict when one call is going to come in over another, but we'll provide a better service because we'll have more units available.
Your first meeting with the school and Lords to look at a training program or certification program that went well?
Went very well, very positive. We're still doing some due diligence work on it, but it seems to be moving in the right direction. We're very hopeful that that's going to come to fruition.
Nice, nice. All right. Any questions?
Did you have anything specific that you wanted to point out about the budget, or, I mean, I did look it over and.
About the budget or about our budget or
About
the monthly reports?
Monthly report, I'm sorry.
Just those overlapping incidents, and our continued, anywhere between 16 and 19% call outings to our extended care facilities.
Okay.
I think it's more than what we do.
I noticed that, yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Good afternoon, trustees and fiscal officers info. First item under administrator is resolution 25035, update various township policies. This would update the probationary period policy, the tuition reimbursement policy, and the FMLA policy. The FMLA is really a clarification of the process for requesting FMLA, so that it's not tied to any specific software, and clarifies the designation notices sent to the department head. This applies to all team members, with notification being sent to the bargaining unit representatives. The probationary period would increase this for non-union employees from 180 days to 1 year. This would be for any position that's posted after any adoption by the board. And the tuition reimbursement was last approved in 2011. This would increase the amount for reimbursement from $4,000 to $5,500 per year, and would also be amended to include relevant master's degree credits, and it would also be amended to require a signed agreement for any application. Glad to answer any questions the board may have.
I did have one, the increase in the probationary time. That looked significant. I just wondered what the background information on that was.
Sure. That was generally in line with the other departments. So the fire department is 1 year, unless that's modified between management and the bargaining unit extended. I believe the road department is 270 days, and I believe police is also 1 year.
I'd like to offer resolutions 25-035, updating various township policies.
A second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes?
Mr. General?
Yes.
Next item is resolution 25036. This would be a supplementation of prior board action, property at 2304, North McCord. Previously, the board approved a resolution for the removal of the structure. In meeting with the property owner, he has expressed a willingness to bring this into compliance by May 12th. The agreement that is approved and ratified by the board would be very similar to agreements done for 8990 Brett Road and 2309 Meadowwood Park Boulevard. Glad to answer any questions the board may have.
I'd like to offer resolution 25-036, resolution supplementing prior board action taken for property at 2304 North McCord Road.
A second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes?
Mr. General?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dave?
Yes. Just briefly, I really won't spend much time on the analysis because it's so early in the year. The numbers are a little bit different because we did use some funds that came in from the government that supplemented our payroll. Of course, we don't have that anymore right now. So, but I think that all in all, we should be just fine. But in any event, why don't I get on to the resolution here?
I did have a question.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with our revaluations and certainly our tax increases, have we looked at how that's going to impact our budgets? And would the county provide that to us? I mean, I know sometimes they'll give us the estimate of the proceeds and things. You know, again, I know when my taxes went up, and it's substantial. So like, I got to believe that we're going to be getting quite a bit of additional money. And I just wonder how we're planning for that. And
We haven't yet. I think what we're doing is, and Imran maybe want to join in.
I think after August we will know. They're not providing any kind of estimates, but whatever they are collecting, basically.
Yeah.
So when based on that, I mean, basically then wherever the need is for the budget, it will be adjusted accordingly.
okay.
And I bet it should be much more.
But the rates went into effect for this billing period here. So, yeah. And I know that, is there a revaluation? I don't want to get too far off the thing, but is there a reevaluation here tomorrow or Thursday? Okay.
Going to have a meeting here that they're willing to answer any questions and have people come in. I think they're also going to go over the process to appeal. You have until, I believe it's the 31st of March to get your appeal in, so there's plenty of time. And I think, I don't know how much they'll assist them in filling out all that, but they'll explain it all to them, you know.
Yeah. They've got their hands full.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, okay. I have one resolution, resolution 25-038, and it's regarding increase appropriations from the unencumbered balance and reduce appropriations, and to increase by small amounts. We got some monies that we needed for hiring purposes in the fiscal like department, and some travel costs and EMS and ambulance funding. And so I'd ask you to pass resolution 25-038.
I'll offer resolution 25-038, township appropriation from unencumbered balance and decreasing appropriations.
Second?
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genoway?
Yes. And thank you, Dave. On non-agenda items, Diane and Doug, I think you're here on the same matter. If you want to come up and state your name and address.
Diane Mueller, 2739 Scarlet Oak. Toledo.
Doug Allen, 6036 Red Oak.
And we're here because our neighborhood looks like a trash pile most of the time. And the ordinances in place for these kind of problems are antiquated. They need to be looked into. Dean and Daryl, I think they do what they can do with what they've got. And we need to do something. I mean, it's costing the township money to go there, and not only for what they do, but to haul the stuff away. And right now we have 4 trash containers that are against the law right now that have been at the street for 3 months. Those big black containers. And I don't like to live like that. And I don't think my neighbors, a lot of them don't like to live like that. And I don't think any of you would like to live like that. The issue is that it is a row of condominiums that contain 8 different residents. So the issue with the zoning office is we don't know who put that crap out there. And somehow we have to get to some kind of resolution to the owners of the property. I don't know, I don't know. The people that after that furniture sits out there for 3 months and the township eventually comes and picks it up, maybe the same people can come and move the trash containers off the street. I don't know what the solution is, but something needs to be done. Like I said, the present ordinances are antiquated. It's a whole different clientele of people living there, I guess. And I don't know how many of them, Dean suggested to me, we'll get a neighborhood watch or whatever. People around there don't even speak English, so that's not. So I guess we're here just to get your help to come up with a better solution than what we have now.
I have a couple of pictures. Actually, Diane mentioned the trash cans are being stored between the sidewalk and the street. That's where they stay. People walk instead of having them behind the fence or whatever. So it's, I think the ordinances, we need ordinances to address these kind of things, but I don't think there's any in place now. I'm not sure there are or not. But we had a similar incident on Red Oak, where we had residents that were storing their trash cans between the sidewalk and the street. And eventually, we got them to, store them by their house or in the garage, okay, if they have a garage. But anyway, it is, and here's what happens. If you store the trash cans there, what happens? The wind comes, blows them over, and you got trash all over the place, going all over the neighborhood. Or, they're just it makes a bigger mess, okay? And it's, I don't know, it's, the demographics of the development have changed tremendously over 20 years. I've lived there for over 20 years, and Diane's lived there longer than I have. And, these were non-issues in the past. Now it's an issue all the time.
On Black Oak, yes, all the time.
So that's it. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. We just need your
I'll
help.
some pictures, okay.
Okay. Sarah, is there any way, any laws that we could look at, particularly, I'm thinking when you put junk out at the street with is that littering? Could we get them on something if we found out where the stuff was coming from? And again, I know I don't want to burden your department with something like this where we're chasing.
No, I don't think it would meet the criteria for littering.
Yeah.
And, if there's nothing in the actual street,
Yeah. The
I'm not familiar with what it actually looks like. I would be happy to take a look at his pictures and see if there's anything that we can do in terms of offering some advice, but not anything that violates the statute.
Okay. And Daryl, the garbage cans that we're discussing, are they actively being picked up, or are they just sitting out there and for months? And, is there a company that comes by and empties them, or?
They're being picked up.
Okay. I know sometimes you can ask them to take them, back.
So we thought about that, just asking them, Republic,
Yeah.
to just pick the containers up, but then they would just throw the garbage on the street.
Yeah.
I mean, they already do that.
Yeah. Daryl, do you have any suggestions or?
Well, there is a new HOA president there that just recently reached out to Dean, I would say within the past 2 weeks. So they've established a dialogue there, and there was, if I'm not mistaken, the new HOA president that was the one responsible for getting rid of the debris was by the curb. And I believe he's working on finding out who the trash can belong to with individual residents. We do send letters to the property owners. Actually, most of the units are owner occupied, but in addition to sending letters to the property owners, we also put a notice on the door too, so that way, if it is a rental, the letter's going to the property owner as well as the resident should see it on their door. Of course, we don't get a whole lot of response. How we address this is pretty clearly laid out in the Ohio Revised Code. I think it's 505.86 or something like that, as far as, abating nuisances and things. So that's what we have to go by, and it requires us to contact the property owners, et cetera.
And that takes 3 months to get the stuff out of the street, the eyesores. And that's what I think needs to be looked into and updated and put.
I mean, I think the last time we did the pickup, right, Daryl?
We've done it a couple times.
Yeah, it's costing the township money to pick up all their furniture, and you no more than get out there and pick it up and somebody throws more out. It's an ongoing issue. And Dean tells me that there isn't any place else in the township that has this issue.
That's correct.
I think we have some one-off issues every once in a while, but nothing as consistent as this. It's frustrating because I've driven back there several times and it's just as you guys describe it. So, Oliver, anybody have any plan to move forward? I mean, I understand the frustration, but I don't know.
We conferred with the prosecutor's office on this, on the state statutes that are out there. I mean, I don't know.
Can we bill like the units? I know it's an 8-unit development, but bill them an eighth of whatever our fees are?
We had already inquired Mr. Burrell on that, because that seemed to be,
Reasonable.
fairest way of doing it. And no, there's no legal way to do that.
Well, if there's no legal way to do it, the property across the street from me, when he wasn't cutting his grass, he was assessed monthly, I believe, on his taxes. So why couldn't something like that be put into place?
Because that was one property owner, as opposed to 8 individual property owners.
Do the 8 units have a common drive? Do they? Okay.
And most of the people on Black Oak keep their large blue containers behind their patios, except these 4 people that refuse to move them for months.
Do you have a right to put your, these trash containers in the right of way between the curb and the sidewalk, if that's what they're doing? And, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And permanently leave them there. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but.
It's an ordinance violation because we had it occur on Red Oak, and I think Dean at that time did something with making it against the law to keep those for more than 24 hours, 48 hours at the curb, and that's where they're at for 3 months.
I mean, we just dealt with this on Laredo, and again, it was resolved because it was a single owner type situation. Well,
is there any other, have you, in talking to Burrell, have you, I don't know, maybe another visit with him on it, they're all just chatting and trying to figure out, is there anything in the right of way stuff? Is there anything that could require them to move these trash cans, where everyone else has theirs or something? I don't know.
Notices on the doors do not work.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing that for quite some time, and they just ignore Dean and don't do anything about it, and the problem continues.
So these homeowners that bring their trash cans out there, at least leave them there? I wonder if we could seize the trash can.
but like they said, I think that would just lead to piles of garbage, at least it's getting hauled away.
Yeah.
Has anyone?
Yes.
And Dean has collected empty, I believe it's still back behind our building here, empty cans from there. But the thing is, all somebody has to do is call up Republic or whoever their
Service provider
is, and they bring out a new can.
Yeah.
And, that's one thing, empty cans like that, but if they're full of trash, it's a lot more difficult to put it in our zoning pickup truck.
Yeah.
Has anyone directly spoken to these people about their trash cans?
I think that's what needs to happen. I think a lot of these people in our neighborhood might be from another country and maybe don't understand the rules. We have quite a diverse population in our area.
So as far as you know, no one's directly
No,
approach them.
just notices on the door. Dean told me it wasn't his job.
And letters to the property owner as well. And again, most of the units are owner occupied. So they're probably five or six of them are getting it, the notice through the mail as well as one on the door. And we now have dialogue with the new HOA president there.
I was wondering if maybe the HOA president or other officers could approach the people that are doing this. Because it's easy to ignore a letter. It's not really easy to ignore somebody on your doorstep, so. Not in a threatening way, obviously, but just, hey.
And if the HOA,
Owner that you're speaking to, is that the strip that there's a problem with?
Yes.
and maybe, with more involvement in the HOA, we can get better responsibility, find out the ones and then contact them. And maybe again, if we do have a face-to-face with them, Daryl, you could bring law enforcement to kind of just for safety purposes and to give them more of a threat to say, hey, we mean business. This has gone on for far too long.
What about just, if they know who the HOA president is, why can't he be told that if this furniture keeps getting thrown out and they don't know who's responsible for it, that it's going to be divided by 8 and assessed? Because I understand that you cannot charge them, give them a fine. Is that correct?
Correct. We can't divide the lien in 8. We've already looked into that with legal counsel.
Okay.
But if we had the guilty party more, better identified, it came from these 2 houses, maybe we could go about that way, correct? And again, that would require more resident involvement, keeping your eyes open and watching for that stuff.
I don't understand why somebody would want to walk out all the way to the curb to throw their trash when all they have to do is go right behind their back porch. That's why I think that there is a lack of communication somewhere where people might just not understand the rules. I don't know. I mean, they continue to throw their furniture out there.
I mean, maybe if we identified the language that they speak, or, we could write a letter to better communicate with them in that regard. But, again, I really think the pressure would come from the residents. That would help all of us, because that would allow us to focus on the guilty parties or whoever's causing this and stop wasting your time and the neighbors.
And the township's time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the give and take. I mean,
We're not trying to avoid this, but it's been a difficult one because, again, it's a minor issue that develops into a major issue over time. And this has gone on for a long time.
We have to drive by that.
I know, but you understand, to do something major over somebody leaving a garbage can out at the end of the street,
But it's not just a garbage can, John, it's also their furniture. And then the township has to spend money to come over and haul it away after 3 months after we've looked at it.
Sometimes HOA associations have legal remedies in those, and with this new person, they might be able to look. I mean, I'm familiar with doing that.
Yeah, they should have deed restrictions
Right,
for
and, yeah.
the HOA, which itemizes that type of thing.
we need Neil here for that stuff.
Now we have our residents doing the same thing. People see that and they think it's okay. You understand, it's like it's just snowball. It's kind of frustrating.
I bet.
We've trained the residents in our community that anytime a limb falls, to drag it out to the street. I don't know why that is, but you see it no matter what time of year, and if there's a stick pickup coming or not, that's just where they think sticks go. And I think the same thing happens there. You see somebody get away with it, and you do the same thing.
I think from what I've heard so far, that Dean's speaking and developing a relationship with the HOA president.
Yeah.
I mean, because, the HOA president has the checkbook, okay? And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then, maybe you get fined through the HOA. I don't know.
Obviously, I think it'd be a combination of the residents kind of working with the township. And again, if somebody's moving that type of furniture, somebody's got to see something, and so we need everybody to work on this together.
It really snowballed the last time because once they threw out the furniture and then it just kept piling up and piling up until it looked like the city dump.
I do think when somebody gets away with it, everybody else thinks it's okay to do it, so.
I think they're confused about the 2 pickups that we have per year. Where the township goes through and takes everything.
Yeah.
I think they think that occurs 12 months of the year.
Well, I think in the city of Toledo and other places it does, so.
Yeah, it does.
We're a little bit different here. But, let's try and work with the HOA president. If you want to include Diane and Doug on their communications with them, do we have their email address, the new president?
I'm not sure if he's communicating by phone or email.
Okay. But any resources we can provide to the president, in terms of legal ease or whatever, however we can help, let's provide those resources to help them police it themselves, to be honest, because it is a private garbage services in the township. Does that, and we'll try to do that. Can you guys reach out to him and make communication and kind of go over the list of issues that we've had and again, kind of look for remedies from the HOA as well?
And maybe they could let Doug and I know what has transpired.
Yep, and they've got your email address and your phone numbers to get in touch with.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for your input here.
Thank you.
Okay, any open discussions and reports today? Okay, and we will be waiving the executive session. I would like to offer a motion to adjourn at 5:33.
Second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genoway?
Yes. I didn't even have to bang the gavel.